The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers. Welcome to Winning in Retirement. Here with me today is Jeff Akers, certified financial planner and vice president of Akers Financial Group, and been working with me for 23 years.
Coming up on it.
All right, So you don't look a day over 23, Jeff?
I might look a couple of days over 23, but Brian, you've been at it for 35 years.
Yeah, 35 years. I was thinking you don't look a day over 23, but you look years over 23.
Oh, thanks. Well, technically, though, you are older than me, so.
Absolutely. Older, wiser is the comment I'd like to keep with.
And still more hair.
All right, so the show is called Winning in Retirement. And so the idea when you're listening to this show, you're like, all right, well, am I winning in retirement? Well, you could be retired, and yes, you should be winning in retirement. If you're not, let's find a way to make it a win. But the other concept is this: will you win in retirement? Are you going to be able to be having enough cash flow to meet your goal so that you feel like you're winning in your retirement years?
Right. You want to have enough coming in to take care of the money going out.
And we're financial advisors through Akers Financial Group, located here in Maryland, with clients all around the country and a few around the world. Akers Financial Group is our website, akersfinancialgroup.com. And how do you spell Akers, Jeff?
It's A-K-E-R-S.
And financial?
F-I-N-A-N-C-I-A-L.
All right, not a spelling bee. What Jeff and I have been doing is working on our script for today, and this is our topic. It's called Your Retirement Income. What is going to be your retirement income? What is it now? What do you want it to be? Your retirement income is a very, very important thing for you to think about and for you to listen to this show so that you will know what it's going to be or what it is now, how to improve it. All right, so we're going to begin with some basics. Akers Financial Group starts with what kind of topic, Jeff?
Well, we do something called a financial fingerprint. We gather information. The topic is you when you come to see us. So we're going to ask a bunch of questions. We want to find out what we can about you and just get a snapshot of where you are right now. We call that the financial fingerprint.
We don't do a fingerprint, actually, though.
Yeah, we don't have a fingerprint machine. There's no ink or anything like that. It's not messy. There's just a lot of talking.
So that's messy. Talking and listening and understanding where a client is. Imagine if you put all your financial information together all at one time and you took a look and an overview of where everything is, how things are titled, the beneficiaries, the income, the taxes, the insurance, your estate planning, college planning, mortgage, everything you think of financial, all at one time, put it all together, and you take a look and you say, oh, what's our goals? What's our purpose with what we're doing? That's financial planning, and that's how you build a plan to win in your retirement years.
Right. I can't tell you how many times folks come in and they say, okay, I've got this and this and this and this. And we'll put it all together onto a balance sheet, and then we'll show them, this is how much you have. And their eyes get big, like, I didn't know that.
Right, and that's a good saver that's done everything they need to do. And I wish that was the average American. It's not the average American. The average American will have not enough money in retirement years.
Right. Sometimes people come in with their debts, and we put that together, and then they're like, I didn't know I owed that much.
Yeah, and then we got to work on a plan to get them out of debt.
Yep.
But the hard part is we can't get them out of debt. The client has to truly work at it on their own to get out of debt. And there's lots of things about financial planning we could try to talk about. Today's focus is your retirement income. We start with a financial fingerprint, understanding where you are today and how it can improve to meet your goals. So the first thing is this: what have you earned over your time working? Why does that matter, Jeff?
Well, you're used to a standard of living. Whatever you've earned, the American way has been, hey, I earned it, I'm going to spend it, and sometimes I'm going to spend even more than that because I want X, Y, and Z. But what you've earned is going to determine your standard of living, and you're going to want to continue that standard of living even after you've retired. And so what's it going to take to maintain that standard of living?
Yeah, that sounds like I guess the best word would be a comment that everyone should understand, and a comment that's like, duh, yeah, that's what we're doing. But the reality is that's not. People work hard, they earn this money, and they don't think about their future. They don't even have a concern about their retirement income, and some of them think their company is going to provide it, And they're missing the concept anymore is that's really no longer going to happen.
Right. It used to be that a lot of companies had pensions.
Yes.
And so you would work, and then after you retired, they just keep paying you. That was your retirement. And that doesn't exist very much anymore. You're very fortunate if you've got a pension nowadays.
Even government, they have changed the pensions over the years.
Yep.
They had, they might call it the old system, the new system, or even the new system. But if you look at it, you're like, well, okay, so what are they taking away? And that's exactly what you got to think about. One of the biggest things that they've taken away in pensions, if you have one, is the cost of living to your future. I know in Maryland, they've changed it from compounding to simple.
Yeah.
And what does that mean, Jeff?
Well, compound cost of living adjustment means I got a raise last year, and this year's raise is based on that new higher amount.
Sure.
Simple is here's my starting point, and I got a raise based on that. And then next year I'm going to get another raise, but it's based on that original amount, not the new higher amount.
An example is a $30,000 a year pension, and you have a 3% simple. You have a $900 raise is the maximum you can get forever.
Right.
So that means you go from $30,900 to $31,800. $900 is the maximum. If cost of living goes up, they don't go above that limit.
Right. Cost of living might go up more than that, but you're not getting more than that.
Sure.
Cost of living might go up less than that, then you'll get cost of living whatever it went up that year.
All right. So what happens is this. So what you have earned over your time working is earned by working and being loyal to a company might be a pension. Also might be Social Security. But the reality is that pensions might be stopping. They might be offering you lump sums to pay it out. And now you're responsible to deliver your own income out of that. You might get package that say, we want you to retire in 2 weeks, and here's your package, and we'll pay you for a year, and thank you very much. And all of a sudden, you got to figure out, is this enough? How do I use this? Where is my retirement income going to come from? So what matters is your retirement income. So we work and work and work, and we earn Social Security by what we pay in.
Right.
And that's happened over the years, right, Jeff?
It's happened for a long time now, ever since the 30s.
1935.
There you go.
And the sad part about Social Security, there's all this news out there saying Social Security is in trouble, and by 2034, they might reduce it down. And I try to explain to clients that that's not new news.
Right. That's been around for a long time.
So if you look at your Social Security statement from the late 90s, you'll see in that statement a disclosure that the federal government says, based on current assumptions, at a certain date, it's going to have to reduce benefits to keep the plan solvent.
Right. The Social Security Trust Fund runs out of money, if you will.
Yeah, well, the word running out of money is a little different in the fact that they have to rely on cash flow only, and the cash flow only from the taxation will only pay 78 to 80% is sort of what they try to project out there. The weird thing is this, that the statements for 25, 30 years have said this, and everybody ignores it. And then what's happening now, it's really big on the news about Social Security and changing, it's political, and they want to hurt us on Social Security. The hard part is Social Security needs to come up with an answer to make it last a lifetime, to make that be a big piece of for people.
Right. We actually had this kind of debate back in the 1980s, and they made some changes that are just now finishing being implemented. And we already need to make some new changes going forward.
Absolutely. So when we talk about working your entire life and what you're earning, Social Security is one thing that you earn by putting money away with the federal government. Now, that's not an account you can access. The only way you get it is by how you choose. So there's many, many options inside of there, but the idea is that these are all pieces that are building up your retirement plan. Most people do not have pensions anymore. And so what happens is you have to save for yourself. If you don't save it, no one else will.
Right. If you don't save money, then you're not going to be able to win in retirement. So We need you to save money to be ready for retirement. That's why companies have 401ks, 403bs, all those kind of retirement plans.
And it always brings up my main thought, and that is that I got to talk about cows. Now, there's this guy, Zig Ziglar, many years ago, had a presentation on cash cows, and I really loved the idea of it. So imagine a cash cow. Cash cow would give what, Jeff?
Well, a cash cow is going to give income.
Oh, come on, moolah.
Okay.
Come on, play the role.
Moolah? Oh, sorry.
Moolah.
Moolah.
Yeah, cash cows give moolah, give income. Exactly right. Now, a cash cow cannot give income if you don't grow your cow. You have to raise your cow properly.
So you have to feed the cow.
Right. So imagine throughout your lifetime, while you're earning, you're working, you're building cash cows. Social Security could be a cash cow that you turn on for the moolah, for the milk, for the income in your future years. So is your pension. So is 401k, 403b, TSP. All these options of savings, Roth IRAs, building investments are all building up a cash cow herd.
A herd of cash cows. Now you're going beyond. I've seen you draw one cash cow, not a herd of cash cows.
Well, sometimes I'll when I present to high schoolers, I draw a whole herd, and they make fun of my drawings. But the idea is that every dollar we save into every purpose, we're building a herd that we then have multiple choices to withdraw and pick our timing to milk the cow at certain times. All very, very important.
So as long as we milk the cow, we're getting our income.
Absolutely. So what happens in more complex financial planning, not just in cash cow talk, is that you have to really figure out, let's get to know each cash cow. What's the taxation? What's the rules of withdrawal? And that's what we're going to talk about on the show, is how do we design your retirement income? Well, it depends on the cash cow.
Right.
What's it going to do for you? How's it set up?
Right. What's the source of income and what are the rules around it?
Is it pre-tax, post-tax? What's going on there?
Yep. And there are a lot of different kinds of cash cows out there now, many more than when you started using that example.
Absolutely. Now, when you think about retirement for people, it's always about cash flow, right, Jeff?
Right. You have to have enough money coming in to take care of what you're going to spend.
Yeah, there's this amazing concept of bringing in more than you're spending.
Wow.
That's not American to say it that way, more than what you're spending. We always like to spend ahead, spend next year's money. And what happens in retirement, we really want to have the opposite. We want to have enough money flowing in to meet your needs and have maybe a little extra. And then as your expenses rise during that 20, 30, 40-year retirement years, you can afford the inflation over time.
Right. You kind of have that cushion that later on you can fall back on.
Absolutely. Acres Financial Group. We're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We have offices in Forest Hill and Lutherville and clients all around the country and even a few around the world. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. You can call us for a free consultation with one of our team of advisors. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to acresfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Now you earn, now you don't. So where will your money come from in your retirement? Let's talk about it right after this break.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, right here in Maryland, but we do work with clients all around the country and a few around the world. I say that all the time because I enjoy the people in the different countries. They are all American citizens, but they are just stationed or working somewhere else at the moment.
Yep, all over the place.
Yeah, the Zoom is a wonderful thing, just trying to get the time zones right.
That can be a challenge, but we're getting there.
Yeah, so Jeffrey, you have been a CFP. You have all the license for being a stockbroker, an investment advisor representative, life and health. And when it comes to financial planning, and you think about your retirement income for a client, and you're thinking about all this stuff, you have these conversations with people. And so my thing for this quarter is called Now You Earn, Now You Don't. Have you ever had this as part of your planning or part of the conversation with a client? Or is it something that comes up at all?
All the time. Just recently I met with someone and he's like, here's what I've got. And here's what I want in retirement. How can I make this work? Because I'm going to stop working. Yeah. And so he's earning right now, but in another year, he won't be earning. So we've got to use the resources that he has saved up, that he's accumulated, the cash cows that he's developed over time. And we've got to use that to create income for him and his wife for the rest of their lives, for both of them.
Yeah, so this is a mindset change, almost like a game changer mentally when you're thinking about, Well, I go out and I work. I bring a paycheck in. I earned it. I trade my hours for money. I bring in paychecks on Fridays or whatever payroll is. And I do it, by going out and getting it. And now all of a sudden you're sitting back saying, you financial advisor, you investment portfolio, you do it. And how do you transition someone from they doing it to this portfolio doing it for them?
Yeah, and there's a couple of transitions. One is they're doing the work and saving the money to, okay, now we're doing the work to help them with where their income's going to come from. But the other transition is we're used to working, save to the 401k. They've been around long enough now that most people contribute to 401ks. So you're saving and accumulating and watch that account grow over time. Well, now we're entering retirement and we're going to take distributions and we're going to watch that account value hopefully not go down as we take distributions, right. At least not too quickly, because we need it to last all throughout our retirement. But that transition from accumulation, building money up, to distribution, now we're going to use that money to live on. That can be a scary transition for folks.
I've had clients where, okay, it's okay for my wife to retire. I can't do it. That's what the husband will say. And so the wife's like, all right, let's go.
Right.
And
I'm 62, I'm out.
And they never thought again about what they used to do. They miss some of their friends from work, but they're not worried about the income. They're ready to go into retirement years. But the husband has the husband, or it could be the spouse, and it's never always stereotypically the same one. But in this case, I'm thinking of the husband was very worried about it. And so we said, oh, how about cutting your hours? And he went from 5 days to 4 days. Yeah. And we started this process around 67. By 74, he cut down to 0.
74.
He slow played it for years.
Eased into it.
Yeah, but I think it's perfectly all right. Financial independence allows us to ease into it, allows us to leave in our own terms.
Yep.
The sad part is not all companies allow us to leave in our own terms. Some companies will come and say, hey, here's a package for you.
Right.
And you're like, how much time do I get to read this package? And they say, oh, by June 1st or whatever the date is.
Return it in tomorrow.
You need to have a decision on what you're going to decide to do the rest of your life. Your services are no longer needed here, basically.
Right.
Or if you deny the package, you might not have a job after that if we do some downsizing.
Yeah.
Those are tough times in lives. But being financially independent gives you the ability to understand you're okay no matter what happens.
Yeah. When you talked about the fella easing into it, I was thinking of a couple of clients where like, okay, here's my retirement date. We get that retirement date and they're like, well, they asked me to stay on and they gave me a little bonus. So I'm going to be on 6 more months. Well, we go 6 more months. Well, they gave me another bonus.
And my comment is they're pulling you back in. Yeah. And they will keep pulling you back in. All right. So this quarter, now you earn it, now you don't. So the idea is this: where will the money come from? Where are you going to get the money you need to cover your expenses, your fixed and your variable expense? Let's talk about Social Security choices first. Not going to spend a whole show on this. You can go to our website, acresfinancialgroup.com, go to radio tab, look at Social Security. You'll hear a whole hour show on Social Security. But what we want you to do right here, Jeff, is Social Security basics.
Okay, so basic number 1 is the earliest that you can take Social Security is age 62.
Except
if you're a widow.
Except?
Or a child.
Except?
Okay, what's the other except you want?
Disabled.
Disability, okay.
No, so the reason I'm playing that little game with Jeff is this. Don't just go to Social Security. Go to an advisor first. Yes. Have a Social Security plan so you can go to Social Security and draw when it is the very best for you. 74% of Americans go to Social Security at 62 and say, I'm 62, give me my money.
Right.
We believe that's not always the wisest thing to do for people.
Right. Most people do it, and it is not the right thing for most people.
Yeah.
So 62 is the earliest that you can take it. Then at 65, you're Medicare eligible, and that's a whole other show. Then you're going to have full retirement age somewhere between 66 and 67. But age 70 is the latest age that it makes sense to take it. Some people have waited past 70. Yeah, it doesn't do you any good.
We had a radio listener come in, and we had a talk. And the funniest thing, he came in, and I said, how old are you today? He goes, 73. And I said, okay, do you draw Social Security now? And then we started talking more, and he showed me his driver's license. He's 71. So I think somebody else was 73, but he said, oh, I'm 71. I said, well, Okay, so what happens if you're too late, that you've already passed 70 years old, is that Social Security will only give you 6 months of retro Social Security. Right. So if you're in your 70s and you're not drawing Social Security yet, I'll sign up. Let's get it going.
You're giving money away.
You'll get a 6-month lump sum, and then they'll start drawing the maximum payment that you earn throughout the years.
Right. So between 62 and 70, that's in general when we sign up for Social Security to start collecting.
Absolutely. And our answers have a strategy to it. When there is a spouse, there's 2 spouses, and you have to choose who should wait to draw, who should draw now. How work affects Social Security is something you need to learn about the income limit of $21,500 and drawing Social Security. If you make money above that, you can start forfeiting Social Security back, and how that can be a very bad thing in your retirement future. And then there's these ideas in Social Security that what if the one spouse is retired, draws it, and then the one that's still working or has the highest Social Security, let that grow, because it comes the family benefit, and you can maximize the family benefit.
Right. And as we talk about the timing of when we can take it, the earlier you take Social Security, there's a little, I'll call it a penalty, the earlier that you take it.
30%.
Yeah. And if you've got one earner that earns most of the money, a lot of money, and the other is a lower earner, then the lower earner can get half of the higher earner's Social Security. But if that higher earner starts taking their Social Security early, then that penalty that they're getting or having applied to them will apply to their spouse as well. So that's why Brian said we want to be careful to have a plan for when we're going to take it, so that we can make it last your entire life and get the most that we can out of it.
So Social Security is one of those pieces that you earn by the number of years you worked. Over those 35 years that they count, they give you an average of what your income was compared to the maximum Social Security wage base, and they calculate what your payment should be. Currently, this is not reduced by how much other money you make. I believe that's going to happen in the future, but we're not going to talk all about that in this show. We're going to move to the next quick topic, and that is now you earn it, now you don't. You go from salary to pension, and they give you these pension options. I'll do a quick summary of pension options and your dissertation on why.
Dissertation on pension.
In 2 minutes.
Go. So the first option is going to be, they call it the basic options, life only. You take it, it's the highest number that you're going to get, but when you die, there's nothing left.
Warning. Well, you got to have a big warning on anything that says single life,
right? Or
the basic option, like the first option. It looks the highest. You got to question it.
Right. Too many people, they look at their pension options and like, that's the high number, I'll take it. Yep. And then, a year later, they passed away and their spouse is like, I've got no money coming in. So that's one option. Then you start having these joint and survivor options where you'll take a lower amount while you're alive, but your beneficiary, your spouse, receives something after you pass away. And then, the higher the payout to the beneficiary, it could be 100%, could be 75%, 50%, whatever. The higher that percentage, the lower the amount that you're going to receive while you're alive. Now, there are certain pensions that get into all kinds of fancy things after that. You can have 6, 7, 8 options that are usually a variation on these. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the pension will have a lump sum option where they say, here's what we would pay you over time, or here's the money that we're going to give you now and just go away.
Right. Say that again.
The lump sum option?
Yeah, the lump sum option. Yeah, just repeat it like we were trying to say.
Oh, so the lump sum option, here's the money that we're going to use to pay you annually for the rest of your life. You can take the lump sum now. It's yours. Go away. We're not going to pay you anymore after that.
And that's another caution I want to try to make people understand. Sometimes when you bring advisors in that are not charging a planning fee, maybe they make money off investments, they might push you towards a lump sum because that's the only way they make money.
Right.
You got to make sure it's right for you. So lump sum might be right for you.
Right.
But is it right for you? What's the calculation? That's what you got to do, the math. The math of retirement is extremely important to understand these choices here. Right.
And so we try to look at apples to apples. If you take a lump sum, can you get the same income you would get if you were using the pension to get that income?
Pension choices, you need an advisor to go through them and make sure you check the right boxes because it's a lifetime decision that you make there. At Acres Financial Group, everything we do is about you. Your retirement is as unique as your fingerprint. When you sit down with us, we start by taking a look at your financial fingerprint. Where is your money? How much do you have? How much are you earning? Then we discuss what you want your retirement to look like and feel like. That's your retirement fingerprint. Perhaps you've been sold something, regardless of whether you needed it or not. Not at Acres Financial Group. With us, your retirement money follows your financial fingerprint. It's a retirement plan based on your unique unique financial fingerprint. Easy for me to say. And that determines where your money goes. It's not about us. It's all about you. Give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE and schedule an in-person or Zoom meeting with us or one of our team of advisors. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE, 833-946-7384, or go to our website, acresfinancialgroup.com. You save for retirement? Good job. Now, how do you turn that into retirement income? We'll explain after this when we return with more of Winning in Retirement.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial planner practitioners from Acres Financial Group. And what that means is we are financial advisors, here to advise you on retirement. When you work with us, it's all about your retirement. It's not about us. It's about you and what you need done for your financial planning. Now, this show is where we talk about the topics and educate on what's going on in financial planning and how to apply it so that you can win in your future retirement years, how you can win in your current retirement years, but to make sure that you're going to win at this entire financial game where you're saving and building money for a lifetime. So this show today is going to be called Your Retirement Income. That's what it's been called for the first half. We're going to keep the title going into the second half.
There you go.
So what is going to be your retirement income? So far, we've covered a bunch of different topics, and we're talking about Social Security and pensions. You wanted to say something about pensions and how it's tied to the animals out there?
So pensions pretty much don't exist much anymore, kind of like dinosaurs. So pensions are dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are real, man.
Well, they were once upon a time, but we don't see T-Rexes walking around anymore. It's kind of like the nice big pensions. We don't see them walking around anymore either.
Right. So what you're saying is that without a pension, without a company providing pensions, someone else has to save money for retirement.
Yeah, and that someone is you.
All right. So when you're listening to this show, the number one person responsible for your retirement years is you. You must set money aside because no one else will be. You need to save, invest, and grow your money for those futures.
Right. Your retirement is not important to anyone else as much as it is important to you.
And that leads right into this second half or third quarter topic. You saved for retirement. Good job.
Yeah.
Hand clap.
Congratulations. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, nice hand clap there. Now, how do you turn that into retirement income? That is really the key thing. So that's our quick topic here, Jeff.
Okay.
It's quick, right?
Yeah. Well, it's going to take us a while, but yeah.
All right. So the idea is you want to make your retirement income give you the outcome you desire. So when we talk about retirement income and sources, there's lots of ways of saving, and we call them cash cows early on. Yeah. These are investment accounts. So let's talk with some basic things. I'm going to bring up a type of investment account. You talk a little bit about it and explain your feelings towards how you draw income from
my
it.
feelings, and then you'll fill in the gaps.
And then I'll correct your feelings. No, sorry, I shouldn't say it that way. All right, so if we're saving money into an individual account, a joint account that's taxable, how do we use that for retirement?
So for like stocks, we like stocks that pay dividends. So for folks that have an income need, and we've got a non-qualified account, that means it's not an IRA, and it's got stocks in there that pay dividends, we might take those dividends and use that as income. Right. Because that's money that you're already paying tax on, whether you use it or not. So why not use it? That's kind of the first place we go.
That's a very important topic and a very important comment that everybody needs to hear again, and that is this. Use the money you are already paying tax on. So if you look at your tax return and you see Schedule B, what used to be Schedule B.
It's still there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, line 7. You'll see interest, exempt interest, dividends, qualified dividends. That category, if that says 5,000, 30,000, 240,000, whatever that says, that's money that you're earning off your investments, paying tax on, and most likely reinvesting.
Right.
So one of the easiest things to do in retirement is to turn it on, to milk the cow, to have the flow out. Does that change the person's taxes?
No, it doesn't change your taxes because you're already paying tax on that money.
Okay. All right. So I heard that banks pay interest now.
I've heard the same thing. I've even seen it a few times.
And so what I've been trying to explain to people is that when they earn interest, cash is no longer trash. It can make money. So one example, someone at $100,000 sitting in the bank, if they buy like a CD or something that pays 5%, they get 5%. That means $100,000 instead of making like $30, they can make $5,000 for that year.
Start talking about real money.
That's a game changer when it comes to just getting a little more income to help cover your food bills.
Yep.
Instead of taking another mortgage for your grocery bill.
And that interest that you're earning on that CD is money that you're already paying tax on. So it's not costing you extra to use that money.
Right. So if you have a CD sitting all by itself, tell the bank, tell the brokerage account that you have, send interest to me.
There you go.
Put it in my checking.
Right. I'm going to use it to go out to eat this month.
Yeah. I had an example this week. That's totally off the subject, but their mortgage was 2.5%.
Yeah.
And they had this money, and they're like, "Oh, should we pay it down on the mortgage?" I'm like, "You can buy a 5% CD, and we can pay off the mortgage later."
Right.
Because they're getting ready to retire, and I said, "Well, let's pay off your mortgage right when you retire. Let's do 2.5% there. Let your money grow at 5%, and it's a win."
Yeah, in a couple of years, you take the CD money. Maybe interest rates have gone down now. You pay off the mortgage, but you've got that extra 5% that you earned.
How do people make decisions without coaching and advice? Well, they have to do it on their own. They have to read about it and try to make a decision. When you have an advisor, that's your advisor, they help guide you in these decision making. And we believe everyone needs an advisor like this, someone to guide them. We built a firm on this, on a team of advisors to be there when you call. The team of advisors, Acres Financial Group, is there ready and waiting to take the phone call and to help guide our clients, especially the ones existing. They'll call us and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do this. What should I do?" And we talk through their decision. We don't talk them out of it. We just tell them how to do it.
Right. And those are the ones that we like. They say, "I want to do X, Y, or Z."
What do you mean by that? Those are the ones you like. You mean you don't
I like the
some?
ones that ask for the advice. They don't come back a year later and say, "Oh, by the way, I did this." And I'm like, that kind of messes the plan up that we had in place.
Yeah, I just cashed my whole 401k out. I wanted to pay off my mortgage.
Yeah, okay. Now we're going to have to take out a loan to pay your taxes on that 401k cash out.
Yeah, that happened actually with a new client. The wife asked me to come in to talk about their retirement, and then the husband, that was his first comment. "Well, I don't have any retirement money, Brian." Like, "Well, why not?" "I cashed it all in to pay down the mortgage." I'm like, "When did you do that?" And I said, "Well, we got a tax problem." And so we had to start there, and then the meeting went for a while. All right, so back to it. But the idea there is IRAs, 401ks. Normally, we've saved pre-tax there.
Right.
So those kind of plans, can you explain some good and bad things and how to draw income from those?
Yeah, so pre-tax, tax deferred. When you put money into it, you didn't pay tax on the money that you put into it. And then any growth in there, you didn't pay tax on it as it grew. So when you take it out, it's going to be taxable as regular income. I hear people say... Ordinary income. I hear people say all too often, at what age do I no longer pay taxes? And the answer is never. Yeah. There is no age.
I told a 95-year-old, I said, I wish it was 95. What I tell people is that people that live in Maryland, we pay less tax in retirement at 65 than you do at 64. And that's a good thing.
Right.
And so the idea is really, truly that you get extra deductions at 65, but there is no get out tax-free card.
There's no magic bullet to take care of it. So with these traditional accounts, the pre-tax money, when you take money out, you're going to pay regular income tax. And because of that, the IRS sets an age, and then they tell you at this age, here's how much you have to take out of these accounts so that they can collect taxes on that amount.
All right. right. So you're talking about age and taxes at the same time?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about required minimum distributions.
Okay, so who's doing this? Who's making people take money out?
The IRS,
Okay.
federal government. It's the law that you have to take money out of your pre-tax retirement accounts at a certain age.
And that age has changed over the years. And now it's 73.
73.
And it will become 75 for people that were born in the 60s.
Right down the road. So that's going to be in 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's far enough away that we'll think about it as we get closer.
But generally, the talk is 73 is the first day you have to start taking money out of your IRA based on a calculation that's done. At Acres Financial Group, what we do is we calculate RMDs for clients because you have the ability to choose where you draw it from. Mm-hmm. You can take it out of IRAs that are not earning as much as other IRAs, and you make a decision.
Right.
You also have to understand that if you have 403B, a 401k, you have to take RMDs from each one of those separately.
Yep.
If you roll them out to IRAs, you then have the freedom of choice on your RMD. So there's lots of planning. We do qualified charitable distributions inside the RMD. We work out how to milk the cow in a proper way.
Right. Tax planning means that we don't give money to the government that we don't have to the extent possible.
Absolutely. Now, Roth IRA. Someone has money in a Roth IRA. When should they use it? How should they use it? What's the taxes when they want to pull money out of there?
I like using the Roth IRA last because money you take out of there is tax-free. So the longer it's in that Roth IRA, the more time it has to grow and the bigger that tax advantage of tax-free income.
Now, I've been using the Roth in recent years for people that get near the IRMA limit. The IRMA limit is basically your Medicare premium, right, going up because you made too much money.
Yep.
But if someone needs some more money, we might pull it out of the Roth trying to maintain our income for the year under the IRMA limit.
Right. You can do that. And Brian already mentioned the QCDs from traditional IRAs too. Those are two strategies to help you not pay extra on your Medicare.
We believe in understanding the different cash cows, the different accounts you've had and saved and built. And hopefully you've done that, but built multiple sources of income for your retirement years. And then we want to have a withdrawal plan, a tax plan, bringing it all together. We also recommend that you have 12 to 18 months of that future income already in protected zero risk accounts so that you're not taking money out of volatile markets. You got to really plan things so that you can be secure in your income flow. So your retirement income would be something that you can count on. Because the best part of retirement is getting your time back. You know, deciding how you should use your time, not worrying about your money. Your time used to be all tied up because of commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away in your retirement years. It's now consumed by things that you want to do. It's so easy to begin winning in retirement. You can go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com, scroll to the schedule a meeting section, and let us know you'd like to schedule your free consultation with one of our team of advisors. That's acresfinancialgroup.com, or give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. I will give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting. Go to acresfinancialgroup.com or call us at 833-946-7384 to start planning for your retirement now. Will your retirement income last a lifetime, or will you have to go back to work? We will explain more in a few minutes.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group. I'm president and founder of Akers Financial Group. And when we founded Akers Financial Group, I had a guy named Jeff Akers starting with me. And Jeff Akers is here today on our show, and we've been talking about your retirement income. So, Jeff, you ready to go in the fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah, it's winning time.
You like fourth quarters?
Yeah, fourth quarters are nice.
Yeah, that's like the favorite thing to watch on any sports is the fourth quarter.
When you find out who wins.
Absolutely. Defense wins, in my opinion, but having more points also wins.
Yeah, that always wins.
All right, so winning in retirement is the name of the show. Winning on the retirement is what should be happening in your retirement years and should be the plan for your retirement years. Our show today is called Your Retirement Income. Let's say you just missed the first 3 quarters and you're like, hey, I want to know about that. Hey, go to our website, acresfinancialgroup.com. Hit the radio tab. You can see hear all of our old radio shows. You can stare at them, I guess.
You can see which ones to click on.
Yeah. If you want to see things, you go hit the button that says webinar, and you can hear some other educational topics we've done over the years.
Right, where you actually see people.
Absolutely. But the idea here is the radio shows are there. There's the topics listed. Scroll up and down. You can listen to it through our website, through podcasts, whatever podcast program you like. We're on that.
There you go.
Winning in retirement. All right, so this show is called Your Retirement Income. Have you thought about it? Do you know where it's going to come from? How are you going to take it? We're covering the basic topics of this, understanding what's going on, giving you some things to think about so that then you'll act on it by calling a financial advisor to go through what your income plan will be. Where would that money come from? And so what we wanted to do is save the hard one to the last, the tough one, the work one, the one that is a little more complex.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to back up for a second. This isn't the hard one, but where's it going to come from? Also, how much you're going to need. We need to figure that out too. Then we figure out where it's going to come from.
You always want to put people on budgets, don't you?
Well, I don't want them to run out of money.
Yeah. Making money last a lifetime is truly what this last topic is going to be about. Will your retirement income last a lifetime, or will you have to go back to work? Will you have to make a life change to basically realign your expenses to your money?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, we've had some situations where we get called in and we say, okay, what do we need to do to help you meet your needs? And the worst case scenarios have been where people have had to downsize to make it fit because the reality was there was no other answer to make it work for them.
Right. When you don't have earned income from working anymore, you're stuck with what you've got at that point.
And so what happens is that we want to encourage savings and saving over your lifetime so that you can invest money to last a lifetime. Imagine you just can't say, okay, I'm going to save for retirement this year and that's all I need to do. It has to be a habit. It has to be what you're doing, what you're acting on, what you're working on throughout your life, not something you just do once.
Yeah, and the advantage of saving as you go while you're working means that what you're going to need in retirement is actually lower because when you're in retirement, you're not putting all that money away into a 401k anymore.
Yep.
So your income can go down compared to what you had when you were working.
Yeah, I'm thinking that when it comes to retirement and you think about just life and you think about expenses and you want to travel and do stuff. So like your early years might be higher and then you start to slow down a little bit later where you don't want to travel as much and then your income actually goes down. And then you have the years when the medical bills go up. So you have some variable expenses that come and go throughout life.
And there's one variable that we just don't know a lot about, and that's how long are you going to need this income?
Right. So we need our money to last as long as we do.
Right. And how long are we going to last?
And we can calculate it, but we don't like knowing the math. We also don't want to do the math of Social Security. The RMD chart tells us we're going to live to 117, if you look at that chart. But the reality in planning is when people are getting ready to retire, you might have worked 30-some years. You're going to have to plan retirement 30-some years.
Yep.
And if you think about your 30 years in retirement, you say, well, how much did your house cost 30 years ago?
Oh, boy.
And what does it cost now?
Well, and what's that car that you just bought cost?
Well, I know in my parents' case, I think the minivan for the grandparent minivan was double or triple what they bought their house for.
The price of the house. Yeah.
So it's weird, but think about retirement in those ways that your income's got to keep up with expenses to maintain the lifestyle you want.
Right, because the cost of things is going to go up over time.
And so the topic of the fourth quarter is how can annuities provide income that lasts a lifetime? This is longevity risk planning. Longevity risk is the idea of outliving your money. How do you make the money last a lifetime? And so the basic idea, Jeff, is how does annuities help us?
How can they help us? So the first way is an annuity, just in basic terms, is a stream of payments over time. We talked about pensions before, and if you took that life-only option, the basic option, that's essentially a life annuity, a single life annuity. It's going to pay you for as long as you're alive. If you live to 117, like Brian said that the IRS tables tell us, then it's going to pay you all the way to that date. But if you pass away in 5 years, it's going to stop paying at that date. So that's called annuitization. That's where we take an annuity and we turn it into a stream of payments. There's not going to be a beneficiary for that. There's no lump sum left over to give to your spouse or your heirs or anything if you do that. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful, but it is a way to guarantee that your money will not run out before you do.
It's like creating your own pension.
That's right.
And if your 401k adds the new law into it where they add an annuity into your 401k, this is what they're offering.
Right. They can turn it into a stream of payments.
And if they show you that, it's annuitization, it's locked in, it's a lock-in forever type thing.
It's a contract and you're, I was going to say stuck with it. You are kind of stuck with it for the rest of your life.
And annuitization is something we do all the time?
No, it's not. Because it lacks flexibility.
Yep.
And there are some better options out there that can do something similar, but still have some flexibility.
It'd be like doing our cash cow and you just put everything into one cow and you milk that one cow every day. And now, if that cow doesn't feel like giving milk the next day, it's a bad day. Sorry.
Or you start needing more milk and there's not enough coming out.
Bessie ain't going to help you there.
Yeah, Bessie ain't going to pony up.
So the idea is this, is that annuitization is a final decision, and we don't recommend you take that lightly ever. When you hear about 401k plans adding an annuity option, you got to question, well, what is it? Is that what I want it to be? Is it really right for my 401k to all go there? Probably not.
Right.
But you got to see what you need and see what fits. Some people will just check a box and say, okay, that's good, without thinking about it and planning about it. Because the reality in retirement, you need flexible money to go with your flexible life. We need fixed expenses covered, and we need variable expenses covered by being able to have the ability to call your advisor and say, hey, I need a little extra money in July to pay my taxes. Oh, I booked a cruise in February. I need a little money for that. And to have sources and a plan to supply this money when you need it most.
Right. And so far, we've mentioned three things that they're irrevocable choices when you make them. One is Social Security. Technically, you've got a year, but Social Security is one. Another is if you have a pension. And then the third one is when you have an annuity, are you going to annuitize it? These are choices that once you make them, you can't go back and undo them years down the road.
Absolutely.
So you want to see a financial advisor and help pick the right choices so that you don't regret it in 5, 10, 15 years.
Absolutely. Now, we got to cover with annuities, fixed and even variable annuities, have added things called income riders. What's the general way they work?
So an income rider is going to guarantee a payment to you for the rest of your life or a period of time. It can be joint, so it could be you and your spouse, but there's still that lump sum of money available inside the annuity so that if you pass away before all that money's used up, there is something that still goes to your beneficiaries.
Right. Can you say that one more time?
So you're going to get money for the rest of your life.
Sure.
But if you die early, there's still a lump sum, something that you can pass to your beneficiaries.
So it's not like an annuitization where when you make the election, or even like a pension, if you pass away, that there's nothing left over for someone that's not your joint beneficiary.
Right. And you can make changes after you've turned on an income rider. It's usually not the best thing to do, but you can do it. You're not stuck with what you've chosen to do.
So what's the negative part of that, of income riders?
The negative of income riders, a lot of times there's a fee associated with an income rider when you buy that annuity.
So you pay that all the time while the money invests and grows.
Right. You're paying it while it's in deferral. You're not taking money out of it. And you're paying that fee while you're taking your payments out. Now, eventually that accumulation value, if you live long enough, is going to go to zero. So at that point, it's similar to annuitization because you're just getting the payments and there's nothing left inside there for them to charge a fee against.
Generally, the idea is this. If you have a variable annuity or a fixed annuity and you want to figure out how to use it, That's one of the topics we cover in a financial planning situation. We sit down and say, well, what cash cows have you put together? Now let's talk about how to withdraw. What happens in a lot of annuities have been sold to people, and then you don't hear from them again. And so these income options we don't know about, even though they might have been features in something you bought years ago.
Right. And so I ask for a copy of the contract so I can explain to folks, This is what you bought, this is what it does. Maybe we're going to have to use it this way, or maybe there's something else we can change to do better.
So what happens when you're trying to figure out what's best for a client, if they have bought something in the past and they paid fees and they're locked in and they get an income rider or whatever, you need to know how it works. And that means that the rep probably doesn't make a commission from it, but they got to do the right thing and understand what's going on with what they already own to see if that cash cow fits and works for them, or is there a better option out there? Not do a scorched earth, well, let's get rid of that cow, let's get a new cow.
Right. That's part of being a certified financial planner. We have to do what's best for you.
Absolutely. So will your income give you the outcome you desire? That's what our show's been all about today. Will your income in retirement give you the outcome you desire? We've covered lots of different topics. It's been a lot of fun going over these options with Jeff, and we want to look forward to those days when we can sit down and talk about your retirement income, because we want you to win in your retirement by taking advantage of the opportunity to begin planning with us at Acres Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting with one of our team of advisors, go to our website at acresfinancialgroup.com. Scroll to the Schedule a Meeting section and let us know you'd like to schedule your free meeting. That's acresfinancialgroup.com. Or you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. We'll give you a call on Monday to schedule your free in-person or Zoom meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Go to acresfinancialgroup.com or give us a call at 833-946-7384. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Akers Financial Group offers securities through Archedios Capital, an SIPC and FINRA member firm. Advisory services are provided through Archedios Wealth. Akers Financial Group and Archedios do not share any common ownership. Neither Archedios nor Akers Financial Group provides tax or legal advice. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, and/or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Examples and scenarios shared are meant to be for illustrative purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future results.